Howdy folks, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for this video, it's a really odd question, but that question is, can blind Marines drive in Halo 3? Well, in the very first cutscene on Crow's Nest at the beginning, there's a brief scene where there's a blind Marine here. He's pretty badly injured and he's blind, and obviously he can't see. And when they say there's a Spartan, as in Master Chief, he doesn't believe them at first because he can't see. And I'm pretty sure that's like the only time in the entire game where he appears. There's like a few more injured Marines throughout the rest of the cutscene and rest of the missions, but I'm pretty sure that's the only time that the blind Marine is ever used. So, through a very simple mod, I just spawned in a few blind Marines in place of regular Marines to see if these Marines can actually drive or not. I kind of already knew the answer, but this is more for my personal amusement to see like a bunch of blind Marines driving. But to answer the question right away, the answer is yes, blind Marines can drive. In fact, blind Marines are pretty much, well, actually, they are entirely just regular Marines. It's just like an aesthetic on them. They don't actually need their eyes to be able to see. That's not how AIs in Halo 3 work. They don't rely on the eyes, so to speak. So that's why these blind Marines, they can still drive and shoot just fine. And they are just as good of drivers and good as shooters as any other regular Marine, as far as regular Marines go. So we know how Marines are in Halo 3, how the AIs are. But yeah, so that pretty much answers the question right off the bat. As you can see, these Marines are driving just fine. Indoors, they kind of drive in like granny mode. The Marine barely moves. The Marine on a machine gun turret, shoots just like another Marine. But yeah, so pretty much for the rest of this video, I know there's quite a bit more to go with this video, but feel free to stick around if you just want to see some funny moments with the blind Marines. If you just want maximum amusement out of seeing blind Marines drive, because it's just total irony seeing these Marines driving around. But yeah, so here we're outside and the Marine struggling to get around some obstacles, and it's pretty typical Marine driving. And best of all, when I say typical Marine driving, we know what Marines do very often, which is drive us off the edge of the map. So for all intents and purposes, Marines pretty much do drive like they're blind sometimes. And now that they're actually blind with this mod, it makes absolute sense. And then here, we got another Marine just trying to shoot the Wraith here, but the angle's bad and he won't adjust. He's not smart enough to adjust the angle. And there's some funny dialogue here, actually, so just listen for a little bit.
That's it! Keep her steady! Ha! You're mine! You have your license? Go! Just die!
Now, there wasn't really anything unique about that dialogue per se, but it's just the fact that they're blind Marines and the way they're shooting. It just made it a little more funny, because they were sitting perfectly still, but the gunner kept saying to keep the Warthog steady, and then even the Warthog was perfectly still when they take a single hit. The Marine criticizes the blind driver, saying did you ever get your license or something, which is so much irony considering they're both blind. And aside from the Warthog, the Marines can also just drive Mongooses just fine as well. So I mean, like I said, the blind Marines are all just regular Marines. So it's not surprising that they can drive vehicles just fine. It would have been interesting if the blind Marines actually were blind and they couldn't do anything else, that they couldn't actually move around. But like I said, it's just an aesthetic, and it's a pretty interesting aesthetic, and I'm surprised it's not used more often. It's really only used on this one mission, or not this mission. It's available on every mission, but it's only used in that one cutscene on Crow's Nest. And I believe that's it. I could be wrong. If you see the blind Marine on any other mission, just let me know in the comments. I just want to just to double check. But as far as I remember, it's only used on the mission Crow's Nest. Now, another funny moment here is this Marine's trying to get away, and then it drives and it crashes into the bottom of the Scarab. And instead of backing up and turning around, it just keeps driving forward non-stop. And the Scarab is going to blow pretty soon. And I'm actually playing out the little Scarab gun that I made here, but that's irrelevant to this video. Maybe I'll do a video about the Scarab gun mod in the future, but for now, as you can see, the Scarab's about to blow, and the Marine is still just driving into it. And finally it explodes, and miraculously the passenger survives that explosion that close to the Scarab. The driver did not survive, but the passenger did. And I guess the last thing to show you with funny moments of blind Marines is this Marine right here, totally blind but operating the radio, as if you could see it perfectly. And then the person next to him that's supervising him is not blind. He could see just fine. And instead of like doing the job himself, he's just standing there and watching like a blind Marine struggle with the radio controls. Like what a jerk, really. He should have done it himself. But yeah, so that's basically it for the blind Marines driving. It's just funny to see them like in gameplay instead of just a cutscene. But yeah, so if you guys were amused by that, make sure to leave a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else you want me to check out or try out, or anything you just want me to do for fun, you know, anything, just let me know and I'll do my best to look into it. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.